guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about leveling up, elevating, and living our absolute best lives. Today we are here at Uganda Museum. I'm very excited. I'm a bit of a history nerd, so I'm super excited to share this video with you. So if you know anything about African history, a lot of countries have a lot of oral history. We didn't really record a lot, minus the Egyptians, but a lot of our history was passed down generation by generation. If you don't have a judge or a grandparent who can break down stories for you, I feel like this museum is everything. It breaks down from different areas such as our history, what we wore, what we fought with, what we ate, the houses that we lived in. So also things like fossils, the types of food, the types of animals, everything. So I'm super excited to share this video with you, but enough talking, let's just get into it. Entrance fee to be able to look at everything in the museum is 5K for Ugandans, and of course if you're non-Ugandan it'll be a little bit more, which is 15K. If you're a child or a student, there are different fees as well, and this comes with a guide and a program so that you're kind of organized looking throughout everything. I feel like that's enough talking. I'm super excited to show you guys what this museum has in store. Let's go. As we walk in, you are greeted with the front desk here, and as you sign up and sign in, of course, there is a little bit of a synopsis of what the museum has to offer. So things like history, traditional life, traditional music, you guys know we're about enjoyment, animals and birds. If you didn't know, fun fact, we are huge with bird watching. People come from around the world just for that with tourism. Then we also have science and industry, just to name a few different things. So you kind of get a little bit of a brief synopsis before you go ahead and check out the rest of the museum. Our tour of the museum starts off in the historical section, and one of the heads of the museum, Vincent, was kind enough to walk us through and guide us through a very detailed tour, which I really did appreciate. So we started off with the Peace and Progress showcase with him, and he explained to us the printing press in 1876 that was donated by England to the church missionaries. And Alexander Mackay revolutionized education at the time. So the books that are there are actually the Bible, which was translated into local languages. And then the showcase also has an area that shows the first Ugandans to study abroad in Tunisia, and that was the headquarters of the White Fathers. Then they were sent to Rome and received by the Pope at the time, who said that they should study to become teachers, doctors, and priests. There's also an area showing the first uniforms of Gayaza High School. So it started off with bark cloth, then the suka, then the gomesi, which became the busuti, which is a really interesting story because gomesi was named after Gomez, who was the maker of the busuti. So our original traditional wear was bark cloth. Then it showcases the Kabaka's palace, the hospitals and schools, and where they were located at the time. The next area that we explored was the period of adjustment, which was when the Kabakas resisted colonialists. So there were two Kabakas to be noted, the Kabaka Uganda and Kabaka Bunyoro. If you've ever been to Namugongo, that's where the shrine is for the martyrs. That was when the Kabaka Uganda resisted, and that time of history with the Uganda martyrs. So we were working a little bit backwards with our tour, but we ended up in the area that shows the boundaries of Uganda. So Uganda was finalized in 1926. Actually, all boundaries in East Africa were finalized in 1926. And this map also showcases down below in the writing how foreigners entered Uganda. So start off with the Arabs, then explorers, then missionaries came, then colonialists, then European traders. After that, they established boundaries of Uganda, and then the period of adjustment and peace and progress.
Transport in East Africa, you can see how the map was drawn. It shows actually how the foreigners, for example, as I've said earlier, how the explorers entered Uganda. So as per map, you can see the routes which were used by Speak, the routes which were used by Baker, the route which was used by Samson enter Uganda.
Now we're going to start off with the beginning of the historical part of the museum. So it starts off with the history of the museum itself. Then is followed by a showcase showing what the land itself looked like before settling or civilization of humans and such. Then the Ntusi area, which was a mound of garbage, which explorers dug up, and they could study what the Bochwezi were up to. So the Bochwezi are the demigods, and they found objects from iron and grinding stones and such, which meant that they were generally agriculturalists, which was very interesting. From there, there's a map of different sites in Uganda, which I found so exciting and extremely dope, because there are cultural sites and traditional sites and natural sites. So all of them are pinned on this map, and you can go and explore all of Uganda and all the cool places that are not easily found on Google. From there, there's also the Chibuka, god of war, and there's a whole showcase giving information on him and the traditions and stories and folk tales around it, which is so cool. So now that we're done with the history of Uganda and the history of the museum, we are going into a whole other part, which is about the people of Uganda. I am super excited. Next, we're gonna check the livestock that we would hunt. Like I said, the buffalo, elephants and stuff. Here is just a little showcase of the different cows. Cows are very big in Ugandan cultures in certain areas. From the west, for example, the Nkole cows, the ones with the big horns that a lot of people aren't used to seeing abroad. I think we're so used to our cows of the white and black spots. So it's kind of cool to see a different type of cow. So this area just shows that cattle are most domesticated animals in those areas, and they're very valuable in those cultures as well. So just this area showcases a little bit of that. This area just talks about crops, main crops of Uganda, things such as banana and millet, banana being matoke and gonja, I believe. Don't quote me, you need to come to the museum to read more about it. And then showcases a couple of tools also that are used in order to attend to the land and cultivate the crops. So from axes to welding tools and such. I think this is really interesting because all of our cultures kind of tie into the different crops that we're known for. Like I said, millet and banana, and it has a little map and shows you just what we're about in the different areas of Uganda. As we head up to this other section, it's about pottery, things that we use to drink and have our food. So let's go check this place out. Have you ever been to the crafts market here in Uganda? The very popular one would be off Uganda Road. What I love is that you got these beautiful things that you can play around with your house, like baskets, woven pieces and such. So this area really shows the different tribes of Uganda and what the basketing looks like. So for example, we have the Chisoro, the Western region. They're beautiful, long, elegant baskets. And then the Buganda people's baskets, which I find so necessary for fruits, vegetables, and such. Still some more from the Buganda people. Teso people, Eastern region, with their coverings. And then we have also the Nkole people up above, where it's more flat and round. And these baskets were all used for various different purposes throughout the culture and history. And I love that they're on display, and you can also find them to purchase in town. These baskets were used to sort out things such as grains. Grains are super important, obviously. It's a crop that you cultivate a lot in Uganda. And this section here just shows us things like groundnuts, binyebwa, something that's just a staple in my life, beans and such. And the baskets help with separating them and making them edible in your day-to-day food. So I love that this shows our culture and how that works in the different cultures and tribes throughout Uganda. Behind me, there's pottery, which was used for storage, carrying water, serving milk. Milk is very big in the Western culture in Uganda. Water is a necessity throughout, obviously. And it shows just what was popular in pottery in the different tribes throughout Uganda. So this section down here showcases pipes and such for smoking and whatnot. It looks a little bit like what I was told, a little bit related to like witchcraft and stuff, but it's our history, right? So what can you do? There's a lot of pottery still here, pipes and whatnot that you can use for tobacco, or what we used for tobacco at the time. Here, raw materials for basketry making, like I said, which is such a big thing in the markets in town. And you can see how we weave, the weaving techniques and such. And I find it so interesting because you guys know probably if you've watched my channel many times before that I'm very into home decor, I'm very into DIY and creating things just from my brain that I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I want to do this. This is what I'm making today. So I really appreciate like how we would braid and how we would create beautiful things such as baskets. Another thing about our lifestyle is wood. Wood is such a big thing in Uganda, just obviously worldwide, timber and such, but Uganda because we have such beautiful forestry. I love this when it comes to wood making because it showcases what we were up to at the time. And you could do milk pots with wood. They had showcase tools that we used to be able to make these things and the different regions and what they were most popular for. A big thing of our culture, what we were wearing before there were gomeses and whatnot, was bark cloth. Bark cloth is a huge part of our culture. I don't see it so much now, but I realized, which we'll get into later in the fashion, that they should really bring more of it back. Gorgeous. Anyway, this area showcases the tools you use in order to break down the bark cloth, because bark cloth is obviously made from wood, and then break it down to make it really soft and wearable for the day-to-day life. And the patterns, gorgeous, gorgeous patterns. They're just beautiful. And it's amazing to see what we're capable of doing at the time, yet not documented. So it's kind of nice to be able to see that here. One of my favorite parts of the museum has to be this back corner. It's all about fashion, jewelry, and what we used to wear. So this display here is about bark cloth and what we used to do with it essentially. So from hats to fashion to just patterns for traditional ceremonies. As you can see, this gorgeous one here, which is number 3, is just this really pretty pattern, which really was for ceremonial bark cloth, but personally, I'm like, you could wear this and create something really cute, just like this shawl that you have here. This works with bark cloth, but with dyed material. So they would dye the bark cloth in different ways and add little like shells and do the stitching really cute and pretty. This is a modern take, but I love how we really embraced and did so much with bark cloth at that time. There's also jewelry, necklaces and such still using bark cloth. On this side over here, we have a really, really interesting area. It's a priestess of Mubende Hill, Nakaima. I think this is so cool just because of all of the different animal skins going on. But of course, it's like witchcraft of the time. But it's a ceremonial dress, and this area is off Masaka Road, kind of in that area, but it's still Baganda people. And you can see even like arrows and shells and such. On the left, I love this because the Karamojong people, the mother and child, it just showcases how the child was carried at the time and their dress. Jewelry as well, of course. And the different jewelry of the different tribes within Uganda as well. So we have the Baganda, Tasso, and yeah, just different people of Uganda. And they're just such pretty beading and beadwork. And you guys know I love my jewelry. So I thought this area was really nice to showcase. And lastly, the modern wear of the Baganda people, which is the kanzu and the gomesi. Earlier in this video, we touched a little bit on the history of how the gomesi came about. It is not my favorite way of dressing personally. If I go to traditional ceremonies, I really wear a chikoi and a belt because it's too hot for sleeves in Uganda. But just a little bit of a showcase of what became modern day Baganda attire. Another section I wanted to showcase because I just thought it just looks so beautiful, and you guys know I love real estate, architecture and all of that, is our traditional architecture within Uganda. So we have a Buganda hut, an Ankole and Bahima hut, and Bunyoro as well. They're just so beautiful. Like look at just the Bahima, like the artwork, the black and white, it just looks so aesthetically beautiful for the time. Like we're artists through and through always. The Baganda with the straw and the grass as well, contrast, it's just so beautiful. It's minimalistic, guys. It's giving me minimalism. And the Bunyoro, I love how down below it has the 2-minute showcases, the cultural tunes at the time, as well as the hut up top. So I really wanted to showcase that because what would a video be without a little bit of real estate? This area talks about the different parts of the tribes of Uganda from north, south, east, and west. And Vincent is going to walk us through the people of Uganda and how they ended up where they are.
You can see how the map was drawn. It shows actually how the foreigners, for example, as I've said earlier, how the explorers entered Uganda. And you can see Mengo is on top in the middle of the map of East Africa. This is where, when they came, of course, to the central Uganda, they had first to contact the chief, the Kabaka.
Yes.
Because his seat was, the palace was at Mengo.
Yes.
That's why all of these routes ended there. However, the explorer who entered Uganda through the north was Sir Samuel Baker, as being evidenced by that.
Okay.
From Gondokoro. Gondokoro today is Chupa, the capital city of southern Sudan.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. Now, these Arab doors were driven by Monsoon winds on the river on Indian Ocean, and these doors were used by Arabs in their trade, where they are calling it slave trade. Not so.
Okay.
The slaves were taken to outside world by using these Arab doors.
So this was from like Mombasa coast, not from
Yes,
Uganda,
yes,
obviously.
yes,
Okay,
Mombasa.
okay,
It was stationed
okay.
at Mombasa coast.
Right. Okay.
So they would capture the slaves from, for example, from Uganda.
So we had slaves. People always make it
they
seem
would
like
send
we
them
didn't.
through the coast.
Mm,
Then
okay.
Indian Ocean. And actually this is Indian Ocean.
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
transport the canoes and the Arab doors.
Okay.
And here the land transport, how it was at that time. The roads
Yeah.
were not there, but the roads in Uganda, okay, they
Yeah,
were there.
they were there, but Maram.
But not the Maram as they are.
Yeah.
These ones were well upgraded. So this is the stretch how they used to carry people, as I told you.
Yes. Yes.
Transport of goods among the Batra and the Bahima.
Now that we're done in the previous section, that gave us a brief history of us as Ugandans. We're in another area which is all about our lifestyle. I'm very excited about this because it really breaks down the people of Uganda. The people of Uganda are so diverse. We're broken up into various different people. To name a few, because we're very many, we're the Bantu, the Nilotics, the Nilohamites, and various more as well. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I just wanted to name a couple. Within that, we take up different areas within Uganda. So you'll have the north, the east, the south, and the west. And then within that, we have various different beautiful tribes, the Baganda, the Banyoro, the Banyankole, Teso, Acholi. There are so many interesting people with so many different parts of their own culture. So within this area of the museum, we break down lifestyle from what we wear to what we eat, how we decorate our homes, fashion, all of that fun stuff. So enough talking, you guys. Let's look into some of these cool things. I see a couple of cool things in the corner. Let's head over there. So as you walk into the museum in this area, on the left, you're introduced to the headdress section, dancing headdresses. So we have a couple of different tribes. We have the Cholis, we have Karamoja, there's Gisu, there's Tusi, there's so many cool different things. This is a history that I love to see. I love to see what we were wearing, what we were doing before. I guess it was recorded because, like I said, we're oral people, so we don't have much. So in this area, headdresses worn for weddings, funerals, victory celebrations, and such. I think it's pretty cool that they have them on display here. As we continue on, we have masks, which I realize I guess weren't so big in Uganda, but they have some on display from Nigeria and Congo as well, which I think is really nice because we're very similar people if you look through our histories and such as Bantu people. So they have them on display just to showcase like the differences, the contrast, but the similarities as well. So as you can see, masks are rare in Uganda, although a few are still found in Bunyoro, Toro, Kugwere, and Busoga cultures. Let's head upstairs. Every society obviously needs hunting to survive. You need to be able to eat and provide for your family. So this area just shows a few of the tools that we used at the time, as well as a few animals we hunted. The elephants, buffalo, leopards. I can't believe we hunted leopards, but we did. And then a couple of the traps they used in order to get the animals as well. And I think that's pretty cool that they're all on display and available at the museum.
People, especially men in different communities, they use it to hunt down big animals, like for example the buffaloes, the elephants, the hippos, the leopards. For the case of leopard, they use it to get the beautiful skins of the leopard.
Yeah, beautiful
because
skin.
They use it for king's installations.
Yes.
Then the other animals like elephants, they want to get tasks, everybody from them.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a lucrative business. This is the justice, the judicial justice system, the ancient judicial justice system, which, of course, before the coming of the Europeans, there were judicial systems which people go because they were criminals.
Yes.
Who
Of
were
course.
committing the crimes. And the crimes of the time, one was raping, killing people, and stealing,
Okay.
and bewitching, of course, is related as much as murder.
Yes. Yes.
So the presiding judge that time was a medicine man, not these official judges.
Yes. Yes.
If you were suspected to have committed an offense, the community would gang up against you and take you to the judge, that medicine man, to prove beyond doubt that if indeed you have committed that.
Yeah. Crime.
And the punishment was practical. Some would behead. This is a beheading knife.
Ah.
If
Wow.
you were proved to be
Yeah.
the culprit, among the Aru.
What a way to go.
Then the Uganda, they used to have the hangerman would have a rope and then they hang
Just
you.
hang you.
And these were the charms carried by criminals. If you were suspected, they would, among the Uganda, they put this charm among on your neck,
Yeah.
so that those charms would work and they prove
That you're
that you are actually the one.
because it was a medicine
And yes,
man.
among the Machiga of Western Uganda, they had a speaking horn.
Oh,
They would
okay.
say, Caroline, because they use the local names.
Yes.
Speaking who have committed this. He's
Okay.
the one, then the speaking horn will go. Yeah.
It'll
Then
say
we-
something.
Then we will subject you to punishment. So this is held, and of course, during the ancient days, people would fall sick.
Yes.
And falling sick was associated to the spiritual world. If someone had done something wrong to the ancestors, they would think that maybe falling sick was because of that issue.
Okay.
So they could go and consult who? The
Medicine man.
So some diseases were there, of course, very many, but these people could not, of course, the cancerous sick people, they could not detect.
Right. Yes.
So they would think that somebody has done something, the spiritual world, that's what has made him or her sick. So now here they are trying to show us
Our enjoyments.
I think you enjoy something.
Yeah, a few things here and there,
Yes. Now here, the people of Uganda, they enjoy the alcohol.
Yes.
I don't say that they are alcoholic. This is traditional
Alcohol. Our banana
So
beer.
the Bantu-speaking people, they enjoy the banana beer.
Yes.
This is the canoe, how it is processed.
Yes.
Then the other people from the eastern Uganda, they enjoy grain beer.
Ah,
You can see
okay.
grain beer from the grain.
Yes.
The magua and among others.
I didn't even know. Okay.
Then we have
Oh, yeah, that makes
the
sense.
honey beer. So in western
Western
Uganda,
Uganda.
among the Badoro.
Yeah.
Now they are showing the processes. Now they are showing the containers.
Ah, okay, that they would store them?
Yes.
Okay.
And two, they should not deceive people that the people brought straws and
we had our straws.
Moving to Africa, specifically Uganda, was really daunting with little to no information online about where to live, how to start a business, what to eat, where to hang out, all of that amazing stuff. So I figured I'd start a website where you can book a consultation with me and ask me whatever you like, and then also updates based on the diasporan community that we're growing here on YouTube. So definitely go and check out the website and join the community. Now that we're done with the great section of the people of Uganda, you go through a hallway which talks all about animals in Uganda, insects and fish and such. So the insects that we're really best known for are Insenene, which are grasshoppers, bees, beetles, and there's many other ones that they mention as well. Then of course fish, some of my favorite, tilapia, oh so good, and now perch, which are located in the Nile and Lake Victoria. Then reptiles, they showcase ones such as snakes, lizards, there's frogs, crocodiles and such. And then birds, one of the most famous things we're known for, which I find so hilarious, which is bird watching. We have so many different species of birds. So many people travel from around the world because Uganda is one of the top destinations for bird watching. Then near the end, there's a section for animals, animal structures like fossils of animals. So the fruit bat, red-tailed monkeys, to name a few, right before entering the area of just fossils and paleontology. Every time I think of paleontology, I think of Ross from Friends. But there's a whole section dedicated to fossils and fossil findings from millions of years ago. There's specimen from 20 million years ago. There are rhinoskeletons from about 2.5 years ago. And the fossils show evolution of the animals and their remains from about like 7 million years ago. So there's so much happening in this section of fossils within Uganda, which I thought was really, really interesting.
What we have here, these are presidential cars. That one was the Benz.
The band.
The Benz, which was for Idi Amin.
Idi Amin, wow.
He used in 1971 to 1979.
Wow.
Then this one here, it was for Milton Obote.
Obote's bands. A little smaller.
Yes, but beautiful.
Yes, but beautiful.
As you enter the museum, on the left, there's an area dedicated to the Stone Age of Uganda. So it really is all about human life from the Stone Ages. So what food gatherers were up to, what they would do for hunting, stones they would use, pebbles, tools, basically used to survive at that time. Now, one of the last sections of the museum is all about enjoyment. It is what we were doing and using for entertainment at the time. So really a whole collection of musical instruments from different tribes in Uganda, as well as drum collections, flutes, bow harps, trumpets, musical bows, and all of these are seen in Ugandan cultural communities and Africa as a whole. And it just is an entire wall showcasing the different musical things. We're such a musical culture. Even to this day, we really love music. We tell our stories through folk tales. So this is a very instrumental part of our history.
What an amazing visit here at the museum. So informative. I really appreciated Vincent telling us about our history as Ugandan people. But not only that, learning about the Stone Age time, learning about industrial area, seeing presidential cars, and just being able to take in a bit of our history that we don't normally typically see nor hear of on a regular basis. So lastly, I just want to wrap up here in the craft store. My girl Kathy here will show us a few pieces. And before, I just wanted to highlight that the hours of operation for the museum, 10 to 5 from Monday to Saturday, you're able to come here and take in a little bit of our history. Let's just shop a little bit before we wrap up this video. I think I like this piece. Yeah. Okay. Why? I love it. Can I get that one? I like pink. Pink and purples. I'm very girly. Like if you had this purple in a dress, I would have gotten that. This one. No, let's go with this. I feel like it would be nice in my house. Nice. Thank you so much, Kathy. If we could put that in a bag, that'd be great. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do comment below what your favorite part was of the museum, what you're excited to learn more about in terms of our culture, our beautiful, diverse culture here in Uganda. As always, please do remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and I'll check you in another video. Bye, guys.